Welcome everyone to Toastmasters 101. This is an overview of the educational system for Toastmasters. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a PowerPoint presentation which should give a good overview of our Toastmasters program. When a member first joins, it can be very confusing. We hand them a couple of books saying, here's your communication book, here's your leadership book. You know, get ready to start doing your icebreaker. What this presentation is designed to do is to give you an idea of what the program is all about. It's hard to have a destination in mind when you don't really know what the final goal is. I'm more of a journey person rather than a destination. What I hope to achieve in this quick program is just to give you an idea of how things work and hopefully make things a little bit easier for you. Just a quick overview of Toastmasters International, if it's new to you. It was established in 1924 by Dr. Ralph Smedley. Seems to have caught on. That's what I can say about that. This is current statistics. As of, I just pulled them off the internet. Some 332,000 members in over 15,400 clubs, and that's in 135 clubs or countries around the world. So when you think of an international organization, Toastmasters really is Toastmasters International. 2011, Toastmasters underwent some rebranding. Up until that point, they were really known for public speaking. Many people joined for public speaking. They found that what it was really about was developing their self-confidence. And they did that by practicing public speaking. Toastmasters did some research. They wanted to try and make themselves the best program for developing communication and leadership skills. They did surveys. They went to industry. They went to corporate America. And what they found out was that corporations and industry, what they wanted was they wanted leaders. They needed leaders. There's a shortage of leaders. There's a shortage of leadership training out there in the working world. And what they also found was that to be a good leader, you had to have good communication skills. So packaging communication skills and leadership skills together just seemed like a no-brainer. It's a package that works. So since then, since 2011, they did some rebranding. The colors are a little bit different, the burgundy and the blue and the gold color. And now Toastmasters tagline, where leaders are made. And this is what we do at our Toastmasters Club. We build leaders on a worldwide basis. Let's take a look at the educational system. This part can be kind of confusing for most people when they begin. We hand you, when you join, we hand you a manual saying, here's your speech manual, start doing it. We hand you a manual saying, here's your leadership manual. Well, once upon a time, the communication program and the leadership program were separate. And the leadership program wasn't all that strong. Back about a decade or so ago, they integrated the leadership program so that you can work on developing your leadership skills right within your club meeting at the same time as you're working on your public speaking skills. So just taking a look at what's on here. I'm going to look at the bigger one so I can see it a little better. The new member joins. We give them two manuals. We give them a Competent Leader magazine. We give them a Competent Leader manual and a Competent Communicator manual. So what you do is you work towards different levels. Every square that you see on there is a level that takes you a little bit higher in the educational program. So there's two tracks that work mutually at the same time, leading towards the final goal of the Distinguished Toastmaster designation. Now it's a little bit confusing right now. I don't expect you to, there's no test, you're not going to have to memorize it, but I do have it explained quite a bit easier here. So let's take a look, starting off with the Competent Communication Program. It uses a manual called the Competent Communication, or it's actually called the Practical Guide to Becoming a Better Speaker. I was supposed to have it to hold it up here, but I forgot to bring it with me. But there's 10 speeches in there that build upon the skills that help you become a better speaker. You learn speech organization. Every speech should be organized. You learn how to maintain eye contact with your audience. You practice that in a club meeting. You practice your gestures. Depending on the type of speech that you're giving, gestures can certainly add to your presentation. Humor, while not necessarily identified in one of the manuals, every presentation you deliver should have humor included in it. Even a eulogy, which is pretty serious, it's pretty tense. Sometimes humor is needed to lighten things up, and it's definitely a good way to get your message across. Also explore vocal variety within these 10 speeches. You also use visual aids. In this particular presentation, I have a laptop, I have a PowerPoint presentation. The audience is looking at it on a screen. There's a videotape or video for people to watch it later. So you have lots of opportunity to practice visual aids. Presentations nowadays, you're giving one in the workplace, we've come a long way from the overhead projector. If you show up with one of them nowadays, they may call you a dinosaur or something like that. Then there's the advanced communication. Once you complete the first 10 speeches, you move into what's called the Advanced Communication Series. And in there's 15 different manuals that they're relevant to your interests, they're relative to what you do for a living. Some of the topics that are in there is, like there's 15 of them, so I don't have them memorized, but interpersonal relationship, speaking to inform, speaking to entertain. If you're in sales, there's one about how to undertake sales. There's storytelling. There's, I don't know if I said entertaining, but there's 15 different speeches, special occasions, how to introduce a speaker, how to be introduced, how to accept an award, how to deliver an award. So 15 manuals, 5 speeches in each one. There's some 45 different projects that you can use or test yourself out within a safe environment within your club. You probably never ever get bored. There's so many. So starting off, we're going to take a look at that picture again that showed the track. So the first award that you get upon completion of the 10 speeches of the Competent Communicator Manual is the called the Competent Communicator. Now, probably worldwide, the majority of speakers that actually, or members that join Toastmasters, this is what they have in mind. They want to get their 10 speeches. Perhaps they have a special event that they're working towards. Maybe they're going to be best man or somebody at a wedding. They have to give a toast or give a speech. So they're working towards something. By the time you complete 10 speeches, you're a fairly competent speaker at that time, hence the term competent communicator. So you're pretty comfortable at that time. You delivered 10 speeches, and Toastmasters awards you with the competent communicator designation. Now some people, and I've heard them say, oh, I've graduated from Toastmasters. I've got my competent communicator. Well, the way I look at it is the competent communicator, your first 10 speeches is like graduating from elementary school. It doesn't mean you're childish in any way, but this is where you learn the basics of your public speaking. So that really opens the door so you can go on to the next level. And the next level within the communication track is the Advanced Communicator Bronze. So what you have to do to earn that is you have to complete 2 manuals in that advanced program that I was talking about, all those different topics. 5 projects in each one. So 2 of them. At this point, it's still fairly simple. So you've given another 10 speeches. So at this point, you've given 10 for your competent communicator. You've given another 10 speeches for your competent communicator bronze. You're starting to get quite a bit more comfortable than you were when you first joined. Then the next level up, still within the Advanced Communication Award, is the Advanced Communicator Silver. So once again, 2 more manuals. So that's another 5 or 10 speeches. It's a little more challenging at this point because you're required to deliver 2 programs from a Toastmasters program called the Better Speaker Series or the Successful Club Series. Now, both of those programs, the Better Speaker Series, I'm not sure how many there is. There could be about 5 or 6 different projects that you can give. And they're canned projects. Toastmasters has done all the work. All you have to do is practice it and stand up and deliver it before your club. So the idea is it gives you practice. It gives you a chance to get up and practice a speech. You haven't had to put a lot of work into it. You need to know it because it's a speech that you're delivering. You're not delivering it word for word. You're putting your own spin on it. But at the same time, you're educating the club on skills related to speaking. That's the Better Speaker series. The other one they quote there is a Successful Club series. Same idea, canned speeches from Toastmasters International. All the information is there. The clubs, most of the clubs do have them, so, and I think they're readily available for download off the internet, so things are a lot easier nowadays. The Successful Club gives you ideas on how to be obviously a more successful club. So it talks about how to get guests, how to convert guests into members, how your executive would be involved. So that's the Advanced Communicator Silver. Next level up, we're still in the communication portion of it. 2 more manuals. So you've given 10 for your Common Communicator, 10 for your Advanced Communicator Bronze, another 10, and then another 10. This time, the bar is being raised a little bit higher, a little more challenging. You have to conduct 2 success leadership programs. Now these, once again, these are programs that Toastmasters has created. They're well done. They're suitable for delivering within a club program with a little bit of planning, because some of them are 40-minute to an hour-long programs. One example might be doing a parliamentary procedure program. Now that might take 3 or 4 meetings to be able to deliver that one properly. Or you could, at this point of your development, where you're working on your Advanced Communicator Gold, you're feeling pretty confident, so it's not that unusual to go out in the public and organize an event in the public where you can do those particular ones. So that's a possibility. Another option is to create a youth leadership program. Now, Toastmasters International, one of the membership criteria is that you have to be 18 years and older. And that ties into the insurance policy. As a nonprofit organization, we're registered and incorporated in California. So the insurance, you have to be 18 years and older. So that means we can't have any younger Toastmasters. However, Toastmasters International does have a program that is suitable for youth. So it could be, as examples, on a local basis, they've done it for ambassadorial programs, which used to be called beauty pageants, but now they've rebranded or made them a little more politically correct now that they're ambassadorial programs. So these are young people that are going to be competing with each other to earn the right to call themselves an ambassador, get to ride a float, or different things that they do. But there's a lot of public speaking involved. So the program or youth leadership program gives them some hands-on experience to become better public speakers as well as better leaders. They're not technically Toastmasters though. Their program is run by Toastmasters. Another criteria is, and this one's an easier one, is that to get your Advanced Communicator Gold, you would help a new member with their first 3 speech projects. So I remember way back when I was talking about the Competent Communicator Manual, those first 3 speeches, any experienced member, if you're thinking about working towards the next designation, which is the Distinguished Toastmaster, you'll get lots of new members coming in. New members need mentors, so it's easy enough to do. You don't have to wait till you're waiting to get your Distinguished Toastmaster to get that. Now take a look at this picture again. What we've been talking about is the track that's on the bottom there, the communication track. Of course, going through the Competent Communicator, working up to Advanced or Communicator Bronze, Advanced Communicator Silver, Advanced Communicator Gold. Now at the same time, you can also be working on the top track, which is the leadership track. Remember back when I said with the introduction, Toastmasters is becoming known for its leadership skill building. To be able to be a good leader, you have to have communication skills. So these things work all together. The so-called olden days, I've been a member for 22 years, so I can quote back to what it was like. It was very challenging to earn leadership criteria. Quite often you had to go outside of your club into the community and take projects at that level, which was fine. It was a good opportunity for growth, but if you're a little bit on the nervous side or not quite, you're your self-confidence hasn't built up at that point, it's a little bit challenging. At this point, with the leadership track, I'm going to forward the slide here a moment so you can see it. The Competent Leadership Program, it uses the Practical Guide to Becoming a Better Leader manual. So this is a manual that's dedicated to developing your leadership skills. And what's really good about it now compared to the former program is that this first manual, you can take on all these leadership tasks right within your club. I'm going to go into a little bit of detail as we go along. These are some skills, there's 10 of them, that have been identified as skills that are needed or necessary to be a qualified or experienced leader. These are skills that build your proficiency. So obviously one of the first ones is listening. And critical thinking, leaders, one of the definitions of leadership that I'm aware is the higher you go up in the leadership hierarchy, the harder the questions. So the bigger the problems. Critical thinking is definitely a skill that you need. Giving feedback. If you are supervising people or managing people, you have to be prepared to give feedback towards them. We can do this all within our Toastmasters program. Time management, whether it be in a Toastmaster club meeting, trying to keep things on time, or whether it's running a staff meeting, or any meeting, or even getting yourself to work on time. The time management skills are definitely leadership skills that one needs to develop. Planning and implementation is often cited as one of the main supervisory skills that you would need, and certainly to be a leader. Within a Toastmasters program, there's lots of opportunity to plan meetings and implement them. Things don't always go the way you want, so you have to plan, you have to adjust. These are skills you can practice at a club meeting. Organization and delegation. You have lots of opportunity as you become more comfortable to take on a chair role. We have several roles within a Toastmaster meeting that are leadership in nature, and they also give you experience at organizing and delegating. The chairperson, of course, organizes the meeting. If we have enough people at a meeting, we try to fit in a Toastmaster for the second half. It's a little bit different than the chairperson role because, one, they're in charge of the second half of the meeting. So they're in charge of looking after the speakers, the evaluating. So all the other skills that they talked about earlier, the time management, the organization, all come into play under these leadership roles. Table topics master. There's skills involved in that for leadership. So I'm working through each of these headings that I'm showing up on the slides is each a chapter in this competent leadership manual, and there's projects, 4 or 5 projects that you can achieve and be evaluated on by your fellow club members. Facilitation, lots of opportunity to facilitate meetings, different parts of the meetings. Motivation, there's a section on that, on how to, you can't motivate people, you can only provide them with an environment that they would like to strive or feel motivated. You can't motivate somebody. Mentoring is a very important part of our program. We're a self-paced, self-development program. Your program's your program, it's how you choose to do it. We have experienced members here to help you with your program, your self-development. And even if you've only given 2 or 3 speeches, there's no reason why you can't be a mentor yourself to somebody new. An experienced person's been around for a while, they can still benefit from having a brand new person coming in as a mentor. It's a good learning experience for everybody. Definitely within a Toastmaster meeting, there's lots of opportunity for team building, developing your skills on leading a team. Once you complete that, you are awarded with your Competent Leadership Award. So remember, with the communication track, you had the Competent Communicator, CC. The leadership portion is called the Competent Leader. So you completed 10 projects and you submit it to Toastmasters International and you get awarded the Competent Leadership Award. Then moving on, the next level up from there is the Advanced Leader Bronze. So at this point, it's criteria, the bar is being raised a little bit higher. You have to get your Advanced Leader Bronze. You would have to have achieved your Advanced Competent Leader Award, which is one we were talking about with the 10 projects. which is, as I said, well within the club, you can do it. The next one is back in the communication track, the advanced, or you have achieved the Competent Communicator Award. So at the same time, you're working on the communication track, you're working on the leadership track as well. Now here's a few other criteria that they put in there. Every club, Toastmaster club, has the potential to have 7 club officers. It's like the executive for a business. The CEO is the president. You have a VP of public relations, so that'd be your marketing person in the business. You have a vice president of education who designs or sets up the educational program. You have a treasurer, you have a sergeant-at-arms, you have a secretary. So basically what you would have in a business or a nonprofit organization. So these are different club officer roles that you take on, and that's part of the teamwork clause that came up earlier in the Competent Leadership Manual. And at that time, you've participated in a club success plan. Club success plan is a plan that the team in the beginning of the year sets in place. It's your yearly plan of action, and as a club officer, you're participated in that. It's one of the criteria. Now there's no time limit on this. It could take you years to get this if that's what your route was. One other criteria for the Advanced Leader Bronze is that you've participated in a district-sponsored club officer training program. Every level of our Toastmaster organization for the leadership receives training twice a year. Our Toastmaster year, well, New Year's Day is January 1st. Toastmaster New Year's Day is July 1st. What happens July 1st? A new year starts. We start our distinguished programs again. And the distinguished programs are a set of criteria or standards, benchmarks if you will, that ensures a quality control, quality assurance of your club meeting. So clubs have a certain set of standards that they have to meet, areas, divisions. Divisions will have a club officer training where the new club officers will be trained at that time. So that's usually in June. So anybody that takes on a club officer role. We have a second round of training which comes up in December, January. It has to be completed by the end of February, where you're at the halfway mark. As a club officer, you've been doing the job for half a year. So what it does at that point is they review how you're doing, and they give you some more leadership training to help take you through to the next level so you can have a strong finish for your year in office, but as well for the club for the rest of the year. So that's the Advanced Leader Bronze. But wait, there's more. You conduct any 2 programs for the Successful Club Series and or the Leadership Excellence Series. The Successful Club Series, we talked about that earlier, and the Leadership Excellence Series, there's other programs. One way to do it is to complete a speech craft or Advanced Leader Silver, 1 level up. 2 more programs for the Successful Club Series and or the Leadership Excellence Series. This was a big screen here, there's a lot on this one. You're raising the bar as a leader. We have a club, we're part of an area, we're part of a division, we're part of a district. Each one starts getting bigger. The district team, to achieve your Advanced Leader Silver, at this point you're taking on more challenging leadership roles. So you need to complete a term as a district officer. Now these are new roles that have changed names. Right now the district director is the top person that's in charge of the district. It used to be called the district governor. The program quality director used to be called the lieutenant governor of education and training. So they're looking after the education and training program. The club growth director used to be called the vice president, or was the vice chair of marketing. The public relations manager used to be the public relations officer. Now, I know this is a little bit confusing for people sitting in the audience that are listening to this the first time. Administration manager used to be called the secretary. Finance manager used to be called the finance manager was a treasurer servant. That logistic manager is something new that I'd never heard of before, but it's a sergeant-at-arms role for the district. Clubs have sergeant-at-arms. And division directors and area directors used to be called division governors and area governors. Now this can be kind of confusing, but these are advanced leadership roles that you can take on, and every role that you take on has its own program and plans and objectives and that you have to meet. So these are advanced skills. You don't have to take all of them on, but take one of them. But it's one of the criteria for your Advanced Leader Silver. And then one other criteria, this isn't getting easier, it's not making it more difficult, but it's keeping the challenge there that there's value in the program. So by the time you've completed everything, you're a very experienced leader that you can use those skills in other situations. A high performance leadership project, an HPL, is one where you find a project, you create a team that you will lead to complete that project. You also come up with a guidance committee. In the guidance committee, you report to them on how your project goes. So it's project management, where you take a project, you solve the problem, do a task or solve a problem, and you receive feedback from people that are perhaps a little more experienced than you. So you're building your experience. What's this all for? This all builds up to, oh sorry, one more. It's not over yet. Successfully serving as a club sponsor, or mentor, or coach. So a club sponsor is somebody that's actually gone out with perhaps 3 other Toastmasters members and created a new club. So a club mentor, perhaps there's a club that's having difficulty. If a club, okay, sorry, backtrack a little bit. Club sponsor gets the club going. They can leave after 6 months. A club mentor has to make a commitment for that first year with that club, helping that club grow. A club coach is for a club that has less than 12 members and are having some difficulties. So it's an experienced member. They come in and they help the club develop and bring it back up to charter strength, which was 20. So these are the leadership awards. So you've worked your way through the communication awards, also the leadership awards. And what this does, it takes you up to the final award, which is the Distinguished Toastmaster. Just to recap what you need to have the Advanced Communicator Gold, you need to have the Advanced Leader Silver. There's no Advanced Leader Gold at this point in time. Then what happened there? This leads you up to the Distinguished Toastmaster. The Distinguished Toastmaster is the highest award in the Toastmasters program. And it could take you years to do it. It means that there's so much in the program that you can do it. It takes a while. There are some people that rush through the program. It's really up to you to decide whether you're a journey or a destination person. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Toastmasters 101.